Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Don't worry, I have a job and I'm not selling anything. What's up with the glasses? You look like you're a very fashionable person. And I don't know if I have to guess, maybe like free-spirited and artistic.
Something like that. I also have a boyfriend.
It's okay, I'm gay. Can you tell by my panda shirt? If like it ever comes down to it and your boyfriend shows up, just tell him I'm like that gay best friend that goes shopping with you. You're very cute though. What's your name? What's your name though?
Good day.
Don't be like that. You're supposed to fight for me. Is this not true love? I have a lot of Facebook friends. Like at least 320 Instagram followers.
Solid.
Are these not impressive qualifications?
Trying really hard. Impressive. Still have a boyfriend. Still not.
I mean, then at least keep me like companionship until I find the next cute girl that I can go talk to.
No.
How about you wing girl me? You can introduce me to the next one.
You're not gonna have it.
You're just absolutely not having it?
Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Have a good one.
See ya.
All right, cool. So that's a very, very interesting set. In your mind, before I go into it, what was good and what was bad about it?
I'm happy that I opened.
Okay.
I don't know, I felt like early in the set I kind of maybe like gave up and realized I don't think this is gonna go anywhere.
Okay.
So I'm gonna at least use this to self-amuse and I'm just gonna say what I think is funny so I can like leave for the next set at least on like a positive note.
Gotcha. Did you, when you were saying these things, did you actually find them funny or did you do them because you thought you were supposed to find them funny?
I actually do find it like freaking hilarious. What's bad though is like listening to my voice.
Mm-hmm.
It does not sound firm at all.
Yep.
It sounds very like wobbly or shaky or something.
Yeah, there's an actual word for that. Or there's actual like lesson in that, which is, the tonality, breaking rapport, triumph rapport, neutral rapport?
Yeah.
Do you know what they sound like?
I thought I did.
Okay. So it's not about volume necessarily, because some people like if you're like loud or whatever, then you're whatever. It's actually a tonality thing. So think of it as punctuation. So triumph rapport sounds like a question mark, neutral rapport sounds like a period, and breaking rapport sounds like an exclamation in like a negative sort of way, like a negative sort of exclamation. And so if you listen to your voice here, you're actually relatively loud, but a lot of things you're saying sound like there's a question in your voice. Right, actually, we can go back to it, so you can watch it again. We'll just replay this at the very start.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Don't worry, I have a job and I'm not selling anything. What's up?
That's
not clear.
It's not so bad. Also, you justified yourself. Don't worry, I have a job and I'm also not selling anything. What's the assumption there?
That whenever I open people, they think I'm either homeless or selling something.
Basically, yeah. So the assumption is like you expect a negative response. So you're basically calibrating before the fact, as opposed to calibrating after the fact. What you should do is assume that it's going to be a good response, and then if necessary, you can calibrate that stuff. But if you go in assuming a bad response, you're going to like give her reason to give you that bad response you're assuming. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. So that's a big thing too, right? So the frame there of "I'm sorry, I'm not a bother" is already a frame that's not to your favor. It's like kind of a negative frame. And then the question mark in your voice, it's subtle, but it's there. Did you hear it or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up with the glasses? You look like you're a very fashionable person. And I don't know if I have to guess, maybe like free-spirited and artistic.
Right. I had to guess maybe like free-spirited and artistic. That's kind of a question, but it's everything coming out of your mouth sounds like a question, sounds like a question, sounds like a question.
Yeah.
I also have a boyfriend.
It's okay, I'm gay. Okay, I'm gay.
By the way, even questions don't have to sound like questions. For example, like, where are you from? That doesn't sound like a question, even though it is a question. So even if the words coming out of your mouth are a question, doesn't mean you have to adopt that questioning tonality.
Okay. Can you tell by my panda shirt?
So with this, yeah, fair enough. To be fair, I would have quit earlier than you, as far as that goes. Just because it very clearly wasn't going to. You almost actually turned around a little bit. I'll show you where. I'll show you where you almost kind of turned it around. I don't think it was really going to go anywhere in terms of her actually like going going anywhere for real, but at least it turned around where she was at least pleasant with you, which is.
If like it ever comes down to it and your boyfriend shows up, just tell him I'm like that gay best friend that goes shopping with you. You're very cute though. What's your name? What's your name though?
Good day.
Don't be like that. You're supposed to fight for me.
Okay, that was very brazen. That was very miscalibrated. Okay, so don't be like that. You're supposed to fight for me. There's basically 3 guys in game. Okay, there's the guy who knows he isn't enough and just accepts it and doesn't try, right? That we call that like shy guy or like passive guy or like, try not to get rejected guy basically. And so he just like asks for permission, comes with a squeaky voice, oftentimes doesn't even approach. And when he does approach, the girls like tolerate him, right? And that guy doesn't get laid like at all, right? Then there's the other guy who he's insecure also, but his insecurity, what he does is he becomes overly cocky, right? So he's like, oh, I'm insecure, so I'll overcompensate by being super cocky. Right here, she's clearly rejecting you. Anyone with any social calibration knows that she's rejecting you and knows what sort of assessment of you that means. But if you're like, you're supposed to fight for me, like, it doesn't make sense in that context. It's you being cocky guy. Does that make sense? So actually, you came in and you were like, questioning the voice, seeking rapport. You were like kind of shy guy too much. And then you switch to being like overtly cocky guy, which is good that you're making that adjustment, but this is just miscalibrated.
Is this not true love? I have a lot of Facebook friends.
See, this is actual self-amusement. I have a lot of Facebook friends, this kind of stuff. Like this is actually like somewhat funny, right? And so this is where it's actually gonna like get okay. She's gonna be like, you're very persistent, I have to give you credit or something like that. That's the closest you get to turning it around. And that's when you're actually self-amusing, but you're not trying to impose a frame, you're just like free associating self-amusing. Make sense?
Yeah.
When you're like, you're supposed to be fighting for me, basically what you're doing there is, it's a principle in game, don't escalate on a negative. Or when things are going negative, don't try and make the set go forward. When things are going well, definitely do. So if she's negative, and you're like, here, let me assert this frame that's very forceful, she's like, fuck you, I don't want your frame. Right? Whereas if it's going well and you assert the frame, she'll like it. If it's going badly, work on the vibe. Okay? If it's going badly, work on the vibe. If it's going well, work on the escalation.
Like at least 320 Instagram followers.
Right there where she goes, that's solid. That's the closest you came to like. You're like, I know, right? I think I might even get 321 today. I'm gonna post like I'm gonna post with my shirt off. Maybe that'll do it, right? Something, if you kept on that and just got her talking, that would probably be like the way to go there.
Are these not impressive qualifications?
But then here now it's bringing it back to qualifying yourself and making it. Now this is like trying to move the set forward again rather than just having fun with it.
Trying really hard. Impressive. Still have a boyfriend. Still not.
Right, you're trying really hard to suppress her, still have a boyfriend. Right. When you weren't trying so hard, i.e. you were just saying the things that were funny instead of are these not qualifications for you, that's when she was actually enjoying it and that's when you actually had a chance.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, next set.
Oi, excuse me.
Tell me.
I wanted to take a picture with you. Ready? Smile.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Where are you from?
Don't worry.
¿Hablas español?
Sí.
Todavía estoy aprendiendo.
Mira,
Me gustó su nombre.
¿todo bien?
¿Por qué tienen un... How come you have such an old cell phone?
¿Cómo?
¿Hablas inglés?
So.
So.
Bueno.
Ah, ok. Ay. No creo que puedo hablar en español ahora. Tengo que hacer algo. Pero ¿tienes Snapchat?
No, no tengo.
Es tan aburrida. Adiós.
Estás haciendo que el set va demasiado rápido, señor. Entonces debes hacerlo un poco más despacio.
I realized she always spoke Spanish, and I'm like, shit. How do I say I can't stay in set? I don't think I can do this in Spanish. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah. So this was a case of you tried to close too fast. What you could have done actually is like forced her English, because if she says she speaks a little English, you can do Spanglish a little bit, and you could also just like do simple words in English. You can also like Google Translate, that kind of stuff. There are ways, but yeah, it's not the easiest. Yeah, this isn't bad though overall. The one thing I do like about it is I feel like, aside from the premature ejaculation factor, which is fair, given the circumstances, I feel like your vibe in this set's a lot more playful and like fun and positive and stuff. So I like that. Also, you got a better initial response, which helps too.
Oi. Oh, excuse me. Wait, don't go out on the phone. Don't do it.
I'm
Not yet.
on the phone. Trying
Who
to
is
take
it?
care of something.
Is it important? Hi.
Yes.
Tell them I'm.
What's going on?
What's get up? Are you German or Swedish?
Yes. I know, so bad.
Right there, when she said that what's going on, that was your opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. You basically needed to, because she's on the phone and she still said, look, I'll give you an audience for a second, right? At that moment, it's time to get to the point though, right? I'll tell you, I had a weird situation, right? So I had, in Sweden, there was a guy that came up to me and he just like said hi to me in a really weird way. I was like, okay, never mind, right? But then he was really persistent. So I'm like, wait, do you know me? Because I thought like maybe he's a fan, because I get weird guys coming up to me like, are you a fan? He's like, no, I don't know who you are, but like anyway. And then he tries to like keep talking to me. I'm like, okay, dude, like I'm cool with you, but like, what do you want? Like, what is the purpose of you talking to me? Because I'm in a hurry, right? And he's like, no, wait, who has to have a purpose? Why be so on your mission? I'm like, all right, bro, take care. Right? I gave him like all the opportunities. I'm like, look, if you have something valid and good to say to me, say it now. Like, I'm not bullshitting you, but just get to the point and say it, because I'm a busy person. Like, if you have something cool, say it. She basically does. She's like, look, all right, I'm on the phone. I already said I'm busy, but what is it? When she says that, get to the point.
So just like, let's go to Starbucks.
No, that's too fast. But get to the point would be just expressing the fact that you thought she was cute. You're also amazing, although she doesn't know it yet. And, you thought you owed it to her to give her that opportunity. Right, so you can say it in a cocky way and say it in a funny way and whatnot, but get to the point. Because right now you're like backtracking. She's like, again, she's got someone on the phone, is getting annoyed at her, and was geht up's funny, but now like, was geht up? Are you from Germany? You're beating around the bush. So she's like, look, I've given you 15 seconds to show me why I should talk to you, and you're wasting it with off-topic stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
I see it.
Neither.
I'm
Is
all
this like
set.
your art station? No, don't worry.
No,
I'm not
no.
selling anything, and I have a
I'm
job.
trying to get the police come to our restaurant. To be honest.
The police?
Yes.
What's going
So
on?
I'm trying to get a hold of them. So you're gonna thank you.
What restaurant do you work at? Is it like dangerous there right now?
No, we're just working on some things.
Okay.
I just thought it was like two beating around the bush.
Yeah, two beating around the bush. And also, like, to be fair, like, if it was a police call, you don't know how serious it was, but regardless, she gave you that window though.
Yeah.
So basically, she gave you the window and you said your deal, and then I'm on the phone with the police, be like, okay, cool, that sounds important, but here, I'll call you sometime when you're not, and we can talk then, and then you can try and close off that. But because you've established a premise, at least it makes sense to try and close. Without a premise, you're not doing anything. Make sense?
Got it.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Are you sitting with anybody?
No, but I'm going to.
Mind if I join you?
Sure. Nice to meet you. I like your top.
My top?
Yeah.
The panda?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're not racist.
Why would that be racist?
Oh no, because like pandas are black, white, and Asian.
Oh, I've seen that on Facebook.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite memes. Are you?
Yeah.
I love the accent.
Possible accent, so nice.
Possible.
Yeah. What are you up to today?
Okay, this is golden. Like, this is 100% great, right? Positive, complimenting you, asking you questions, like, you're good to go, right? This set has everything that you want in a set at this point. So now the question is, now that you have that, what would you like to do with it?
Yeah, I tried getting her to go out for coffee.
Okay. What would be the purpose of that right now?
It's a date to build comfort.
You're already on an instant date.
I don't know. I just don't think I can. Find
Like,
anywhere
technically,
to
you're gonna ask her for coffee. She's already sitting there drinking a coffee, and you're sitting across the table from her. So going for a coffee right now would be like a lateral move, right? It wouldn't actually. You're already there.
Well, yeah. To be honest, I wasn't sure where to go from there. I was like, well, instant date was my goal.
Cool. So if you were to? It's a frame that I like to give people a lot of times. If this were a porno, and it were to lead to sex, but in a plausible way, what would be the next step in the porno?
Maybe I could see it as something like, oh, my phone's dying, and like brought that up later in the conversation.
Sure. So that'd be the reason for it. But what would be a next step? There's 20 next steps this could take. Eventually, what would be a next step?
If it's not building comfort because she already likes me, I would say getting closer to said location.
Right. Okay. Cool. So what would be a move that's actually in that direction eventually?
I fucking hate this table. Let's go.
Okay, that could work. That could work. A more positive might be like, there's this other thing around here that's cool, I should show you, or something like that. So seating some kind of a place to go would be good. Now, what might that be, or what could that be?
I wish I knew New York better.
Okay, where are you staying?
Astoria.
Okay, that's tough. Where's she staying? You don't know yet.
Yeah.
Right, find that out. Right, think about what this. Yeah. So that would be the next step, would be logistics, right? And again, the purpose of a coffee date is for you and her to be together, getting to know each other, and nobody's going anywhere. You already have that. So there's no point in a coffee date. So possible escalations would be escalating for like a drink date, which has all the elements of a coffee date, but it has better atmosphere, it has alcohol involved, those kind of things. So that'd be one sort of escalation. So it's an escalation of theme. You're still together with her, etc. But in that case, you're closer, you could get physical, there's alcohol involved. You actually did lead her to somewhere, and it made sense, as opposed to coffee, which is weird. So that would be one. That would be an intermediate, like if it's just so-so. Or coffee to a walk. A walk is good because especially if it's in the right direction, it can lead you to the next logistic, which is whatever, and it's also something you're leading. So anything like that would be good. And then obviously, if you happen to have a place in the city, that would be helpful, but you don't in this case. But yeah, you want to be knowing what is the next move. Since you don't have a place in the city, you should be working her logistics, and then ideally be working something to get yourself in that area, if you can figure out a way to do it, right? And a quick Googling might be Googling or Google Maps might be your help on that. So for example, you find out where she's staying roughly, then you could Google Maps that area and be like, oh yeah, I know this great yogurt place that's in that area. And then you Google Maps a yogurt place that's near where she lives, and now you've gotten closer, et cetera, et cetera.
Got it.
Okay, but so you want to be thinking proactively. However, you're not quite there yet. She likes you, but actually what you said before, which is developing comfort, is big. Also, screening in general is big, right? Before you can figure out logistics, you want to know how long you have. Is she there all day and she's doing nothing, and you can just take her on an instant date and have sex with her, or is she waiting for a friend that'll be there in 3 minutes? You don't know that yet, so that's the other thing you want to find out. So you want to find out situation and logistics, and then yeah, you do want to build comfort. And also, just because she likes you right now doesn't mean she's invested in you, so you actually need a little more of that too, right? But because you're sitting with her, you can take your time and relax and let it build over time. You don't have to be in a rush. Okay, so those are all things you should have in the back of your mind for where you're going, but you should also have in the back and front of your mind that you're getting there patiently.
I just came into New York. Do you know where my is? Yeah, very early. I thought the traffic was going to be much worse. So I got an hour or two to blow before I meet up with some friends. What about yourself?
I'm just a parent, so I just finished.
So what does that mean as far as her schedule?
She reveals her schedule later. She just got out of work.
Okay, that's what you want to find out. And going back or done? Yeah. Okay, so logistics are good as far as that. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
What are you eating? What is that?
What?
You said you were eating?
No, I have nails. I was going to do my nails. It was a really awkward time to come over, but anyways.
You're going to do nails now?
No, I'll wait till you're done.
Do you know if there's a coffee shop around here?
There's a Starbucks there, or I just was at a place called Kobe, which is by Washington Square. It's really nice.
What was your name again?
Kobe.
Your name.
Oh, my name.
You're very cute.
Thank you.
I don't know, just holding hands now.
Okay.
Very romantic. Join me for a coffee. We'll come right back.
I can't right now, but...
How come?
Because I literally just finished a meeting. I'm going to do my nails and I've got another meeting.
We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Come,
No,
come.
I
2 minutes.
I can take on a motor or...
I don't know.
So what was it I told you to have in the back and front of your mind?
Logistics.
Well, that, but what else?
I remember you
So you're moving it towards all those things?
One when it's negative, and work on escalation when it's positive, and then vibe when it's negative.
Just now, though, I said logistics, all that plan stuff, but what did I say? Back in front of the minds, patiently you're going to move it there, not in a hurry. This is like super, super rushed. Thank you. Yeah, so she likes you, and she probably would go somewhere with you or do something with you in a little bit if you really put your time in. But when you try and make it happen in 2 minutes, she doesn't know yet. You're asking for too much too soon. Yeah, so the big thing I want to kind of get across to you, there's 2 main lessons I want to give you. I'll kind of close with this. So think of, I don't know if I can do this metaphor with like on screen, but okay, think of game as the hand, right? You're right here, right now, okay? And there's all these different paths you could take. And you want to think of like all the different paths that lead to sex, all the different possible ways you can imagine it getting to sex. Those are the possible paths you're going to go down. Now, you're going to choose the path that you've had the most success with in the past. So if you've had a lot of success going down this path, you'll start down this path. As soon as you get an indicator that path's not going to work, you'll go back here and start over. Or actually, there'll be like this will be like your new point. You'll look at all the paths from this point. Does that make sense? Yeah. But you're going to start with the most likely path until it looks like it's not working, and then you're going to cut that path off, and then you have the other paths left. And then you go down the next most likely path, and then as soon as it's not working, you're cutting it off. So that's what you're essentially doing, and that path, that's based on your experience. It can also be based on what you've learned from instructors and whatnot, but that's it. So you always want to have a plan A in your mind that you're actively pursuing, and then in the back of your mind, you want to know what plan B, C, D, E, F, G, and all that is if that doesn't work, right? But you want to be actively pursuing a plan, right? And again, that likelihood is based on your own past experience and your own imagination for whatever your instincts tell you is the most likely path to success. That's what you follow, okay? Until you get a negative indicator. You do want to be patient on that path, though, and that's the second lesson. So first one is pick the path and go with it until it doesn't work, and then pick another path and go with it until it doesn't work, pick another path, and keep problem solving that way, right? And just use your best guess every time you switch paths as to what the next best path is. Once you start the path, kind of commit to it until you get a negative indicator, and then make your best guess as to what path to switch to. All right, so you're flexible, but you always have something in mind, okay? Then within that scope of having something in mind, this is the straight line persuasion thing I want to tell you, which is imagine this is 0 and this is sex. This is 0, this is sex, all right? You want to obviously be moving this direction, okay? Now imagine also that this range in kind of like the length of my hands is where the set is good. Like right in the middle is like the perfect set, the vibe's amazing. The further you get away from this midline, the worse the set is, okay? So anytime the set's still good, like it's still in the range of the hands, you want to be moving it forward. If the set gets up here, or it's not in the range of the hands, now at that point, if you move it forward, you'll lose the set. If the vibe's bad and you're trying to escalate, the girl will reject you, right? So don't escalate when it's bad. When it's bad, that's when you self-amuse, have fun, make no escalation whatsoever, which you're actually good at the self-amusement, right? So that's when you self-amuse, and don't escalate until it's back to a good vibe. And then once it's a good vibe again, then you start moving it forward again. And then if for some reason it becomes a bad vibe, then you get it back to a good vibe and then escalate. Never escalate on a bad vibe, but then when the vibe's good, you want to be constantly escalating, but slowly.
Got it, actually.
So that's kind of how because you do a lot of really good things. Your self-amusement's good, you're actually quite funny, that kind of stuff, but it's all like aimless. It's like, instead of fighting a war with a gun, you're just shooting in random directions. Your aim's really good and you're hitting a lot of stuff, but there's no plan. So there's no strategy to like what you're doing, right? So you're shooting with really good marksmanship at random shit. Yeah. Right? What I'd like you to do is have a little more of a plan. Keep doing what you're doing though. Make sure to keep self-amusing, keep having fun, keep doing all the positive things you are doing. And if having a plan is making games super, if it's ever getting to a point where it's not at all fun for you, get back to the fun before you start doing the plan again. And obviously get back to a vibe before you start escalating. But make sure, again, looking at that map every once in a while, knowing that you have a direction to go in.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, you do a lot of stuff, but it's all kind of like directionless and random, as opposed to being like the good stuff is moving you towards the actual goal of sex. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool.